Well, I plan on getting drunk.
If you heard our voices, it means it's time for It's This Meets That's podcast, where we watch the worst movies from trailer to end credits, scene by scene, so you don't have to, but maybe you should. I'm Russ.
I'm Jared.
Yeah, me too.
Me too. Prescient words from Papa Kristen Stewart here. Whatever his name is. I always forget the character name.
Is it Chris?
Is it Chris? I don't think it's Chris.
I don't know.
If it is Chris, I'm going to die laughing. There's no way it's Chris.
Sheriff Chris?
I mean, maybe. I don't know anymore.
Isn't it Paul or Peter, maybe?
Oh, no. It's like...
Out of the gate, we're doing pretty good.
Darwin? Douglas?
Donald.
No.
Okay, well...
I think we're really missing the mark here.
Kind of sets you up for how this is going to go.
Yeah, sorry. So I guess we haven't introduced the movie yet, so you can keep doing your intro.
So this is part one of the Twilight Saga, Breaking Dawn part one. Our part one of Breaking Dawn. So
yeah, it's part 4 actually.
Technically, yeah. But, so if you missed the trailer trash, we did that last week. You should go check it out. Mm-hmm. But this is gonna be the full breakdown. So.
Mm-hmm. Charlie,
Chuck,
Chuckers,
Chris, Charlie.
I guess you're close to Chris. Yeah. What are we doing?
So I'm not even sure anymore. So
Breaking Down part 1.
Yeah, Breaking Down part 1. Why don't you give us a quick recap on what this one's about?
Sure. So in case you forgot from the trailer trash, which I don't know, go back and listen to that, I guess. The premise here is the Quillettes close in on expecting parents Edward and Bella, whose unborn child poses a threat to the wolf pack and the townspeople of Forks, which I don't know. Man, now that I've seen it again, I don't think that happened.
I didn't get any sense of fear or concern about pretty much anyone in this movie.
No,
especially the townspeople of Forks. Like that doesn't feel like there was any threat to them whatsoever.
No, certainly not. And the wolf pack is also, I'd say, barely in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, they're fine.
Maybe 5-10 minutes out of the 2 hours.
Yeah, the hour and 57 minutes of runtime here.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I expected to happen in this movie from the trailer trash, but I know we knew a baby was happening.
That's what happens when we watched the trailer like a week ago. And
I'm pretty sure that we both I expected at least that the baby was going to be born, but it was going to be like the last thing. Either we weren't going to see it, or I think I have a feeling we nailed our prognostication. I think we kind of nailed it.
Which I don't want to brag too much because I've seen it.
Yeah. And I don't want to either because that just feels like kind of punching down a bit. Like
yes. Like, of course, that's what happens in this movie.
Yes. They split up one book. I'm assuming Breaking Dawn was just one book, right?
Yep.
So much like Dune, they split this up into 2 parts.
Just like Dune.
Because I'm sure Breaking Dawn was so heavy with so much story and characters and things going on that they needed 2 parts.
So much spice trading. So much. A lot of things. Sandworms everywhere.
Yeah.
You can't believe the amount of sandworms that are in this movie.
The heavy political analogies and conversations about the world, you know?
Yes. So meaningful.
All here in Breaking Dawn Part 1.
Mm-hmm.
Keep moving here. So quick info. So this is directed by Bill Condon, who did not Part 1, the last movie we did.
No,
he didn't. He didn't.
No, I don't know if they had repeats. I think they're all different, aren't they?
He did Part 1 and Part 2. He did Breaking Dawn Part 1 and Part 2. That's right.
But besides Part 1 and Part 2 of Breaking Dawn, like the rest of them are all fresh, right?
Yes. Yeah. Bill Condon has done nothing else that I think people would know. He did a bunch of TV movies. Gods and Monsters, that sounds familiar, from 98. Did a Candyman movie in 95. And then our favorite artists, the Jonas Brothers, he looks like he did a music video for them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, our boy Nick Jonas, who's in our Chaos Walking.
Right, British guy. Yeah.
Yeah, British guy. From Jersey, from the way of Jersey.
The British Isles of New Jersey.
But other than that, he did these.
Wait, and he did the Beauty and the Beast remake?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. I didn't see that. With Emma Watson and crew, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Get out of here. Yeah, tell me that wasn't like a huge blockbuster in whatever 2017, whenever it came out.
Oh yeah, I mean Beauty and the Beast is Disney stuff, so it's like it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
all huge.
Yeah. Huge.
So screenwriters, we got Stephanie Meyer, who is the author of the series, story by her, and then Melissa Rosenberg, who's coming back. She has done all of the Twilight movies. Outside of that, though, she does have a serious career in the TV. She's done Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman back in the 90s, Party of Five, Ally McBeal, The OC, Dexter, Jessica Jones. So yeah, she's crushed it with tons of stuff in TV. And then this are really her only movies. So
yeah, what happened here?
Yeah, I don't know, because all those shows I just list off are pretty good. Hercules, Legendary Journeys, like she's done some awesome TV stuff.
Really?
So,
Weird.
yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, Melissa Rosenberg, if you want to be on the podcast, fuck you, and you know how to find us.
Yeah. Look us up.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, she sounds like an interesting person. We can ask what happened here, because her body of work seems really credible otherwise.
Yeah, no, 100%. 100%.
Huh. Okay. I guess we should blame the source material, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you blame it. Yeah, there's only so much you can do with that blueprint. So,
yeah, you can't make a chicken sandwich out of chicken shit, as they say.
Can't make an omelet without scrambling some eggs, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Speaking of eggs, why don't you tell me who's in this?
Thanks for asking.
Couple of eggs.
Pretty much the same people that have been in the last four, because no one dies in this series because there's no stakes whatsoever. So we got Bella, played by Kristen Stewart, Robert Pattinson, our soon-to-be new Batman, Taylor Lautner, who's just disappeared from the planet.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Ashley Greene, who I have no idea what else she's been in, and I didn't take the time to look it up because I didn't really care.
I know, she just sounds so familiar. Like we should know, but
yeah, we talked about it I think before.
Yeah, we definitely talked about it before.
So we don't need to keep going on it, right?
Nope.
Okay.
Keep this episode short.
Billy Burke, who plays not Chris Swan but Charlie Swan, dad.
Oh.
And then Gabriel Carter, who's just an unsavory man.
Yeah, why are we giving him top billing here? Like, he's barely in the movie. Like, we could talk about Nikki Reed, or we could talk about Kellen Lutz, or like any of the other actual characters in the movie. Yeah, why is really unsavory man get top billing here?
Well, because I thought it would be fun to just take out a random person and give them a little spotlight, because this is how you get there, right?
Mind you, listeners, not just the unsavory man, one of 4 unsavory men.
Yeah, and who were they? Oh, at the wedding.
The murderers. No. The unsavory men were the guys that the vampire McGee's here is killing when he's hunting people. Did you just fall asleep again?
Oh yeah, when it turned into like all of a sudden a black and white film noir from like the 20s. Yes. I was like, what is happening right now?
That's where all these unsavory men came into play.
Oh, okay, now that makes sense. I get it. Unsavory man. So credit as unsavory man number 4, Gabriel Carter. Everyone knows once you get mentioned on our podcast, your career blows up. So I'm trying to help people out here.
Great point.
Anna Kendrick, she shows up for like a minute and a half.
Yeah, there's so many actually famous people in this movie. All right, we picked unsavory man number 4.
And Maggie Grace, why do I know her? Where is she from?
She's on a popular ABC something or other that is said in her bio at the top.
Maggie Grace is from Lost.
Oh, from Lost. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I didn't watch Lost. I don't know.
When was she in this? Oh, she plays one of the cousins that crashes the wedding. Oh, so she has a bigger part later on. I didn't even recognize her.
The Denali's, of course, the Denali clan.
Getting denied.
Denali. Yeah.
Maggie Grace, I was like, that's okay. She was the cousin who had the big problem. She's like, wolves are here. I can't take this. Ugh.
Yeah, the cousin with lines. You mean?
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
And Boo Boo Stewart, right? Okay, that's a great name. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, that's it.
Nicely done.
So, let's see. Box office. This movie made $689,420,051. Did I say that correctly? Yeah, $51.
Yeah, roughly something like that.
Yeah, that's worldwide. Yeah. So
it's like 186,000 fanatics. Yeah, it's a lot.
Kind of weak. You couldn't break $1 billion. Come on.
Yeah, come on.
Oh, this came out in 2011. So with inflation, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
That all that money was made on a budget of. This is also a very large amount of money for this movie.
Yeah, it is.
A budget of 127 million.
Unbelievable.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
There was nothing.
There weren't any effects. I mean,
I wonder. Remember, we were talking about in the second movie where Kristen Stewart and Pattinson were the only two that got to renegotiate their contracts, but that still doesn't make up 127 million. There's no way they're getting.
No, and I mean, I know they had to do a lot of effects for
the wolf vampire showdown, which was
making her pregnant. No, I was going to say making her pregnant. Like, that was probably way more expensive than the wolf vampire showdown.
Like 27 million, maybe.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Because they did like a lot of
there's a lot of work.
A lot of Benjamin Button, skinny with, she was that kind of emaciated look. So yeah, all right. I mean, like, still, that's a lot.
Yeah, they weren't spending it on set design because like this movie takes place in one location basically.
They're in three houses.
They did film part of it in Brazil. Maybe that was expensive.
Did they actually go there?
They did film some of it, some small amount of it in Brazil.
Like, why? Just find a lake somewhere you can drive a boat in anywhere in close by.
I mean, that's what they did. The rest of it. The rest of it's all British Columbia. The usual.
Yeah.
But
okay.
Anyway, yeah, weird. Okay.
All right, so that's all the quick info. That's all the quick info you're gonna get.
Thanks, buddy.
It's time for Hollywood Pitch.
Still working on the jingle. Okay. Well, I got one for you.
Oh, great! Please go on.
Surprise, surprise. Came here to podcast and take names, and I'm all out of names. Anyway, The Godfather, right? The original one, part one. The Godfather 1, as Thais would probably say.
Isn't it just The Godfather?
Yep, it is The Godfather. Okay. But I'm adding extra things to it.
Yeah, which will
differentiate it from the sequels.
Which will piss Thais off, right? Because
exactly.
You differentiate the sequels by calling them part 2 and part 3. But the first one, like, you just call it Star Wars. And then it's...
That's right. That's exactly right.
As I've been told, instructed.
So, The Godfather meets Godzilla 1998.
The Matthew Broderick Doritos commercial? Yep.
Specifically, yes, exactly.
Mountain Dew Doritos commercial from 98.
The Matthew Broderick Mountain Dew Doritos commercial featuring Green Day's Brain Stew. Yes, the very same. The very same.
Can't wait.
I saw that in theaters. Anyway, I'm sure
did too.
Many of our listeners did too. Yeah. So Godfather Part 1, right? Mm-hmm. Both of these movies center around a wedding at first, right? That kind of sets the stage for the rest of the movie.
Yep. Okay.
A little more at stake here at Don Corleone's daughter's wedding, but
a little bit.
Who am I to judge?
A little bit.
So that's part 1. As the movies progress, we see the family falls apart a little bit. They lose some members, like Sonny and whoever else, but really drives the family apart. Like it seems like the Corleone family is on the outs, right? Just like it seems like maybe the Cullens are on the outs here, and also our Wolfpack family. There are points here where there's division.
Yeah. A lot of conflict. A lot of conflict with no stakes. No. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Exactly.
In this movie, not those movies.
Right. Exactly. And then, but at the end, they all kind of come back together.
Hey.
Just like in The Godfather.
All right. Yeah.
So there's that one. Meets 1998 Godzilla. Now, this one...
Because all the Doritos.
Yep. Yep. A lot of vampires eat a lot of Doritos. A surprising amount of Doritos.
Yeah, behind the scenes. Those are deleted scenes, but they eat a lot of Doritos.
3D Doritos, specifically.
Yeah. 3D blood Doritos,
yeah. Which I think, were 3D Doritos the tie-in for Godzilla? Possibly?
I don't think it was 3D because the movie wasn't 3D. I think that would have been a connection, right?
Maybe, yeah. Maybe that was more of an early 2000s. You remember 3D Doritos, right?
Absolutely.
Delicious. Anyway.
Yes. Because all their other chips were in 2 dimensions.
Yes. That is correct.
Oh, man. Finally, a chip I can eat. It's in my dimension.
Yep. I couldn't see that other one because it was too flat.
Too flat. Thanks, Dorito.
Anyway, that's enough about Doritos.
Now I'm craving
Where I was
burgers.
going with, yeah, I know, me too. Ooh, should get 3D. They brought them back. Did you see?
No, did they really?
Yeah, I was in a convenience store, I don't know, a few weeks ago. Getting
Great,
gas.
I can eat them again.
Right. Yeah, there you go.
Every 17 years. Actually, every 23 years. Oh my God, sorry. All right, keep going.
So, no, it's okay. So anyway, if you remember from 1998, I know it's been a while. Basically, like in the beginning they're discovering Godzilla, kind of, where they're like, oh, like what's this
as
new...
one does.
Yeah, as one does. Like, what's this new creature? Like, is that a living dinosaur? And they're like, no, it must be a mutant created by whatever. Just like the Spawn in this movie, people are like, what species is this? Like, what are we creating? What have we done?
Yeah.
So you can see the tie-in immediately.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's clear as day.
There's, a lot of Godzilla ensues, a lot of destruction, a lot of, just like in this movie, a lot of unnecessary destruction,
which again has no stakes, but yes, a lot of destroying of beds, some chickens, I think. Yep.
Exactly right. And then there's nobody's bombing the Air Force Base or laying eggs in Madison Square Garden in this movie, but that being said, at the end, speaking of eggs, we do set it up nicely for a sequel. The sequel that never was in Godzilla. And the sequel, well, we don't want that.
Poor 1998 Godzilla.
Yeah, no one wants that.
with such hits from Kanye and was that Kanye and
yep.
Jimmy Page doing.
You're right.
Yep.
Damn it.
I know. I was trying to forget that, but we'll move on.
That's over the credits, isn't it too?
Yep.
I think right when the egg hatches, which is where I'm getting at here.
Yep.
The egg hatches and like the little baby dinosaur comes to life.
Ta-da!
Just like little baby vampire thing here hatches.
It's a baby
at the end.
Yep. It hatches.
Yeah.
Good point.
And then we get like the, basically Godzilla-esque like eye-opening kind of end scene here.
Yeah.
That, like, really leads you into the next one. You're like, okay, Steve,
yep.
I hate this. So
yeah,
that's
like
it.
the ending of that was good, man. I like that.
Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. The eye opening at the very end. That's like a pretty cliche ending for pretty much any horror movie where like, I think he's dead. I think we're good. And then the eye opens and then the credits roll. It's like they just took this from a horror movie.
Classic set me up for part 2.
Yep. Just pulling me back in like the Mafia, like the Godfather, right?
Yep. Exactly right.
I got you covered.
Yes. What do you got?
So you know me. I go a little more straightforward here. So I went with It's My Big Fat Greek Wedding meets Rosemary's Baby.
Okay. I got half of this at least.
This is pretty straightforward, I think. But I mean, My Big Fat Greek Wedding. You got a wedding. This movie they were about to tear apart. There's only 3 things happen in the movie. I was thinking about it. There's a wedding and a honeymoon, which is about half the movie.
Yep.
And then there's a baby.
Yep.
Pretty much. We can close up. Right. Actually, we can close up shop right now. That is the movie.
Yeah, the honeymoon is almost exactly the wedding and the honeymoon are almost exactly half the movie.
Right. Like once the honeymoon ends, it's half the movie. So
yeah.
And then the other half is just people brooding, and then a baby shows up at the end.
Yeah. No, you nailed it.
So by My Big Fat Greek Wedding, it's about a family accepting, someone who's not part of, non-Greek. So we've got non-Greek yogurt and we've got vampire and human, and everyone trying to accept each other into the family, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, and also, welcoming Bella into the family too. So
yes,
great point.
Right, a lot of layers there. And then Rosemary's Baby, which demon baby, done. You can't say much. I don't think there's much else you have to say, right?
No. Yeah.
And some shenanigans about people kind of wanting to do things, have the baby around for something, sacrificial, which we do get at the end of this movie. A little kind of post-credits teaser. Or do the Volturi want Bella? Or I'm guessing they want the baby. That would be my guess. But
maybe a little column A, a little column B.
We might have to watch part 2.
Yeah, I was gonna say, actually, you won't find out because unless we do part 2, you'll never watch it. But,
or maybe I'll watch it on my own.
I was gonna say in Rosemary's Baby, it's been a while since I've seen that one.
Yeah, me too. I had to read the synopsis.
she's also very insistent the whole time on having the baby, right?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that
Also
which
just
adds to.
great job, buddy.
Yeah, man. I think we knocked that one out of the park.
Yeah, because we've never knocked it out of the park before. If there's one thing we're known for, it's not doing a good job.
All right, you want to do our mediumly paced facts or fast facts?
Yeah, they'll be a little slower than usual, but yeah, fast facts because I wrote them, so I always like to drag us down.
Yeah. Nope. Okay. Yeah. This is beefy. I'll let you run with it right now.
Okay. The problem is, like, other Twilight movies and other popular movies we've done, there is so much trivia about it because for some reason people care. So like, there's a lot to draw from here. I grabbed maybe like a third of the IMDb trivia, just the interesting ones.
Let's get fired up.
So much. Anyway, let's get right into it. So, like I mentioned, they were filming in Brazil at some point. In order to get Robert Pattinson to drive the boat, they had him take boat lessons, which he then crashed the boat in the lessons themselves. And then after the lessons, which he was supposed to be good at driving a boat, when they're filming in Brazil, crashing the boat and everything. Robert Pattinson famously can't drive a boat. It's not that hard.
Yeah, there's a lot of actors who can't do things. I don't know. It's why it's a boat. Huh. Just weird. Listen. Yeah. Just listen to whoever's teaching you how to do it, and just then do that. It's like Daniel Craig not being able to know how to drive stick before doing all the Bond movies. Like, how do you not know how to drive stick?
I don't either. Well, I know how, but I haven't done it well.
He also, I think, crashed car and couldn't do it, so they had to have someone stunt do it.
Embarrassing. Figure it out. So there's that. Speaking of Brazil and the island there, so the sex scene, which
British people can't.
Unbearable. Yeah. Step one, British people can't drive things. Step two, the unbearable sex scene here apparently originally got them an R.
Wow.
Which unacceptable for a Twilight movie, obviously, right? Your audience is not going to see an R-rated movie.
Heat it up, fire it up.
So they had to edit the shit out of it to try and get that PG-13. And I love this part. I left this part in because it's horrible. So in interviews, Robert Pattinson and Bill Condon apparently blamed Kristen Stewart's wild thrusting.
In quotes.
Mm-hmm.
In scare quotes.
Uh-huh. Which, like, what? like, don't make this Kristen Stewart's fault. Like, she's trying to have a convincing sex scene here. And they're like,
Yeah, director.
And this is,
how about you direct?
Bill Condon continues his thought here with, Kristen got very into it. I hate to be clinical, but there are guidelines on thrusting intercourse, not to get people too excited. Like, that's what the MPAA objects to, is people being excited and looking like they're enjoying sex.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, the MPAA.
Yes. Yes. Mom's against good movies.
Yes. That is one thrust too many.
Right? Fucked up. Anyway,
yep. Okay.
I had to leave that in. So, fun fact for you here. I know you were really worried about this.
I was.
Jackson Rathbone?
Know who that is? No idea.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah, he plays Jasper in the movie.
Sure.
One of the main characters, kind of.
I'll point him out when we get there.
Yeah, in the Cullen family. He's like a vampire dude, the rest of them. So for some reason, in part 1 and part 2 of Breaking Dawn, they decided to let him have his own hair, even though he's had a wig for the whole franchise thus far.
Oh, I remember who Jasper is. Isn't he's Alice's like boyfriend or something, right? Or brother? I forget.
I don't know.
The first movie, I think the second.
Thais told me what it was, and I don't remember.
No, because I remember we watched the second movie, New Moon, and I was like, oh, is that like her? That's like, they seem like they're brother and sister. And you're like, no, they're dating. And I was like, nah, that doesn't seem. That doesn't.
But I think
right.
Thais said that maybe you were right. So like maybe they're like, it's like her brother husband, I think.
The Broband. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Husbro. Husbro.
I like Husbro.
Husbro.
It reminds me of Hasbro, not a sponsor yet. Why now? Why let him have his own hair now?
He was like, and contract negotiation, he's like, I'd like more money. They're like, no. He's like, I want to use my own hair. They're like, fine.
I hope that's like why change what happened in the first 3 movies? Like, there's already a well-established franchise. Speaking of earlier movies. When I think we were talking about how, they might have wanted the director of New Moon to do this one. Who knows? What they apparently, Sofia Coppola was very interested in this one.
Probably would have been a 1,000 times better of a movie.
Probably, yes. But she only wanted to do part one. And so like Summit was like, no.
Okay.
I don't get it. I don't know why she only wanted to do part one, why she really wanted to do part one. But can't know what's going on in Sofia Coppola's head. But another little fun fact for you. Don't know how much attention you were paying to the wedding invitation, but
I was.
Cullen family residence, 420 Woodcroft Ave.
Oh my
nice.
God. Is that like actually a location or?
I don't know. Probably. Forks, Washington is definitely a real place.
Yeah, because you've been there, right?
I have drove right through the middle of town. I mean, like where they live is a very woods enshrouded place.
Yeah, that's not an actual location.
Not a street, huh?
But they do have the Forever Twilight and Forks collection, which is a museum.
Right next to the Forks Timber Museum.
And there is the actual Swan House out there. So. Oh
my God. Yeah, I told you, Forks is like the worst place. Shout out to our listeners in Washington State. Yeah. Don't go to Forks.
Leave if you can. There's demons that live there.
Yes. Ideally. So anyway, yeah, thought that was a little fun.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit? Then thought that was a little fun. Who gives a shit? Apparently, for our listeners who are big fans of the Twilight books,
I was just about to say big fan of books.
Yeah, big fan of books.
Reading.
Yeah, specifically the Twilight books, though.
Yeah.
Apparently, Edward's time hunting humans is brought up way earlier. So, like, Bella knows what she's getting into for whatever reason, and then they weren't going to include it in the movies at all. Apparently, and then Robert Pattinson was like, "No, I think this is really important to." I'm doing an American accent for Twilight.
Doing a Bruce Wayne accent. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Keep
going. I don't know, Bill. I think this is really important to the character. It really helped me get into the vampire feeling. If I could talk about what it was like to kill humans.
Robert, maybe. Sorry, that was my best Bill Condon.
I didn't know we had Bill Condon in the studio with us.
Oh, hey guys. Yeah, well, I don't think it's that important, but hey, whatever, Rob.
Oh, gee, thanks for coming by, Bill. Yeah. Thanks, Bill. I'm glad you're here. And Robert Pattinson. Who knew? What a day.
Nice
what a day for IVFT.
Wow, who knew? Just jumped in the Zoom. Mm-hmm. So he wanted so that whole thing made no sense to have in the movie though, because the way they positioned it meant nothing. But I do agree it would have been cool if they did put it in earlier and actually would have maybe had some impact on decisions being made. But
it was too little, too late,
and it did not need to be there at all.
The day before the wedding, Edward's like, "Hey, by the way, I've killed a lot of people," and she's like, that's cool.
It's fine. They were all bad people, so
they were unsavory men. Didn't you read?
They would have killed way more people than you actually killed.
That's what I try to tell myself. So I included this because it made me angry, and this is like another gripe about how anyone's allowed to edit IMDb, like Wikipedia. So just the way this is written made me furious. It's almost a foreshadowing about Bella's pregnancy when she starts eating chicken while Edward's away hunting. Because in all of the previous installments, she only ate vegetarian, and like she even encouraged her dad to cut back. Like, yes, it's not almost a foreshadowing. Whatever, almost a foreshadowing. It's a fucking point of the movie. Like that's why they wrote this way. It's to show that she's pregnant. Clearly. God.
She's eating chicken and peanut butter.
Yes. Could be a foreshadowing. What do you mean could be a foreshadowing? What is a foreshadowing? I'm so mad. I know it's really pedantic, but
nope. It's just put a little thought to it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. You're doing fine. Keep going. Unless you want to take over. I can tap in for you if you need to go for a lap.
I'm hot right now. I'm real hot.
You need a lap?
Yeah. Why don't you take a couple?
All right. So the movie Edward is seen watching in the theater. So there's flashbacks we're talking about where he goes and hunts humans. He's hunting these unsavory men. He's in a theater. It's like a 1920s like flashback. And the flashbacks, the movie he's watching is The Bride of Frankenstein,
Which,
like Bella, in Edward's point of view, is about the titular character marrying a monster.
little on the nose.
A little on the boop boop for me, but sure. Hey, you know.
You a chess guy? Because I might like the next one.
I am. I'm a big chess guy, actually.
Oh, okay.
And no one ever says I win. They say checkmate. Fucking dumbasses. I almost threw my controller across the room. I was like, no one in chess says I win. I beat you. That's if you're playing checkers like a kid.
No one who competently plays chess is going to say I win. Like she does in the movie. She competently plays chess and wins.
I win. Not to be all stuck up about my my old board games here, but
no. Well, continue.
In the indoor chess game, Edward missed the best move. Queen to A1, right? As placing the queen.
I wrote it like IMDb wrote it, so I don't know.
Yeah, I had to parse that. I was like, wait, what? No, it's queen to A1. It's position on the board as placing the queen in a corner instantly checkmates. He's been around for what?
Couple hundred years.
I mean, this game was the only game that existed for a short.
A good while. Yeah, I think he played a lot of chess.
Like hunting people and playing chess. That's what vampires do.
You think he let her win?
I think so. I'm gonna keep moving along here.
Yeah,
so
please.
we had double barreled Stephanie Meyer, the author, fast facts here. So she could be seen as one of the wedding guests. Oh, what's that?
One of them is I pasted again by mistake. So single barreled Stephanie Meyer.
Sorry, first shot was a misfire. Oh my god! So Stephanie Meyer can be seen as one of the wedding guests as Bella walks down the aisle. Oh, yeah. Okay, I don't know.
Little insert yourself into the movie there. The greats all do it.
Bill Condon, the director, chose not to show Edward ripping Bella's body open with his teeth during the childbirth because he felt having the audience experience it via sound effects and having Robert Pattinson slightly out of frame made it more potent. He also felt it made the scene more special for viewers who have read the book.
Yeah, because I think in the book it's like real fucked up.
I mean, I wouldn't be
very graphic.
I'm also going to go with that. That's probably more of the PG-13 version because any further, you're probably into the rated R. But what do I know?
Too much thrusting.
Yeah, leave a little to the imagination. That's fine. I mean, Jaws did it.
Yeah, just like Jaws.
And then our final fast facts: to achieve the effect of a newborn, how do you pronounce it? Renesmee.
Renesmee.
Spoilers. It's a baby girl. The visual.
Yeah. In case which you definitely would have gotten from the name Renesmee.
Just trying to think of like their was it the baby release party? What do they call that thing? Stupid thing that lights fires in the West Coast.
Gender reveal party.
Thank you, gender reveal party. That's it.
Yeah, when you light California on fire accidentally.
Yeah, like an idiot.
Classic.
All right, so to achieve the effect of newborn, Renesmee here, the visual effects team used the motions of over 30 real babies using the Lola projection rig. Small bits and pieces were taken to create the final look. Images of Kristen Stewart were also used so the baby would most resemble her like in the book. And to make it look the more terrifying and awkward looking baby. That baby is breathtaking. Dude,
it gets worse. In the next one, in part 2, like I was actually shocked. One of the things I remember most explicitly about part 2 is how horrifying the baby is. It's terrifying.
Thank God it grows up pretty quickly, right? Because
it's
on a timeline. It's got stuff to do. It's got humans to kill.
Exactly. But in this one, it's like it almost looks like just looks like a slightly scary baby.
The one CG face, I was like, oh my God. Oh. All right, so that's fast facts. That was fun. We learned some things, right?
Yes, we did.
Jesus.
We all learned some things. I know. I'm just not looking forward to it already.
Be such a Debbie Downer. We're not even started yet.
I know. I just remember what happens.
Nah, this is the best part. This is the best you right here. I love it. This is gonna be great.
Okay, yeah, let's start talking about the movie.
Here we go. Breaking it down. So yeah, this opens up with Summit Entertainment logo, their big red logo, full screen.
Yeah, I had a bonus fast fact for you here. I forgot.
Oh, yeah.
So this is the last Twilight movie, maybe one of the last movies released with the pure Summit logo, because
really
2 months after this movie came out, Lionsgate bought Summit. They had there was a transitionary period, which I think the next Twilight movie has, like Summit Entertainment, a Lionsgate company, before they just started doing, full on Lionsgate.
Did not know that.
Yeah, kind of fun. But this is what made Summit all of their acquisitionableness, right? Like,
yeah, absolutely. And Lionsgate's like, yeah, we want that Twilight money. And then the Summit Entertainment logo bleeds into the Breaking Dawn Part 1 logo.
Nicely done.
Yeah, Part 1. I thought it was, it's a good transition.
Very tasteful.
Then we get a very on-the-nose voiceover from Bella talking about childhood, laying it on very heavy about children. Was this like from something, or is this just like from the book, you think? Like this felt like it was like from a fairy tale, like the last few lines or something, but I know it is a fairy tale kind of, but
yeah, it's from a poem. It's Edna St. Vincent Millay poem, okay, talking about childhood. I think it might be called Childhood is the Kingdom Where Nobody Dies, which closes that with, I believe. Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say, I was like, this doesn't sound like no one today wrote this. It was just like, yeah.
Oh God, no. Yeah, no. This person died in 1950. So you can tell.
Yeah. Well, and we're it's kind of raining out. We're in, because for the Pacific Northwest, but we're at Jacob's house, and he just kind of storms out and he drops something on the ground as he starts running, and then kind of takes off his shirt angrily, which we don't get a ton of shirtless Jacob in this.
Not enough.
Not as much as the movie 2 movies ago. Yeah. And then he just storms off, turns into a wolf, and runs into the woods.
I think you get more in the next one.
Not enough shirtless Jacob.
Yeah, this didn't go well with the fans, everyone. Let's redo.
And then Billy comes out. He's like the father, right?
Yep. He is the father of Jacob.
I don't think he was in a wheelchair in the second movie. So did that happen between movies or something?
No, he was.
I don't remember.
I think he was in a wheel. Wasn't he in a wheelchair since he got attacked in the second movie?
That's not the same guy. You're thinking of Charlie's buddy, right?
Of the right.
Who right. I thought it was, and I
died, right?
Yeah. Yes, I think he's dead.
I don't know. I can't remember. I think he was in a wheelchair the whole time. I'm pretty sure he was in a wheelchair the whole time.
I don't remember a wheelchair in Part 2. Anyways, whatever.
Listeners, let us know.
It's really actually not that important at all in this movie. So,
it's not important in any of the movies.
No. So he picks up the thing that was dropped, and he starts looking at it, and they kind of do like a kind of a cut montage between everyone, all the different characters. We're bringing them all back, kind of like, hey, here sets the stage. We've got, Billy looking at the it's a wedding invitation for Bella and Edward. And then we get, at first it was like some lady on vacation in the Bahamas. And I was like, is that her mom, who I wasn't in Part 2? So
no, I think she got introduced in Part 3. She was in maybe Part 1 a little bit, like at the very beginning or something.
And then she really popped up in Eclipse, but yeah, it doesn't matter either. It doesn't matter.
Oh, is she heavily in Eclipse? Did you read that?
No.
I don't think she is.
Oh, okay. I was just guessing.
No, I don't think she's like really a factor. It's more like because Eclipse is what you think it is. Like as you surmised, you didn't miss much plot between Part 2 and Part 4 here. Like,
no, because Part 2 ends with him telling her like, hey, we gotta get married. And she's like, yeah, maybe 3 to 5 years from now.
Right. Exactly. It's like the proposal that is like, sure, eventually. And then
feels Eclipse, like the movie could have just gone right to this one.
Yes, it definitely could have. Eclipse is like, if I remember correctly, is mostly just Bella like wandering around thinking about the possible consequences of marrying a vampire before she accepts the proposal. Like half of that movie is before she says yes.
Oh my God. That sounds terrible.
Yeah, it's even worse than you think.
And this movie's terrible too. Like this didn't need to be a 2 hour long movie. And this definitely didn't need to be 2 parts, I don't think.
The benefit is there is a big fight scene in the third one. I think that's why it got rated better than 30%. But
so everyone's got the wedding invitation. Everyone's going. We get Dad. He's there. He's reading the invitation. And then we cut to wedding planning, right? Alice is kind of planning the wedding they're having, this is Belle and Edward's house, right?
Yes. This is the Cullen house. They're getting married in the backyard.
Oh, the Cullen house, right. Yeah, they're doing a little backyard wedding, no big deal.
NBD. As the kids say.
Yeah. And not much really happens here. Like every scene we're probably going to walk through, but they're talking about
doesn't like her shoes. It's really important.
Doesn't like high heels. She wants to walk around in bare feet, which, come on, just put some shoes on.
Alice is kind of treating this like her wedding, right? As the planner, she's like, hey, stop messing up all my stuff to everybody else.
Always a bridesmaid, never a, But it's also just a reintroduction of all of the characters. If you forgot from the previous movie, everyone's still here. Right. So you get the whole Cullen family helping out. The guys carrying giant trees, and then we get a shot of Edward looking a little apprehensive, nervous, kind of.
Yep. A reintroduction to bad dialogue when Alice is like, "Go get some beauty sleep, lots of beauty sleep," and then that like ends the scene. And Alice is like, "Yes, these uncomfortable shoes, yes." Right. Then it cuts to back in Bella's bedroom.
Yep.
Her dad's
house, right? And she's packing up her room, and then it's like, oh yeah, I must forget about that dream catcher above my bed.
So wait, is she packing up her room? I thought she was just like getting ready for the wedding. Like, is she like packing up to move out because of the wedding?
Oh, I don't know. That's what it looked like to me.
I'm just confused about everything.
Yeah, the room was pretty barren. There was no pictures on the wall. So there's no pictures on the wall. That made me think that she's packing up for good. Like, they're getting married. Like, she's moving out of her dad's house, right? She's going to move into that sweet glass, modern, home.
I guess that's true. Yeah. I guess I don't know. I guess what the correct order of operations is there.
But you're right. It doesn't matter. And then Edward just pops up like out of nowhere, like, yeah, man, want to knock at least? Yeah. Like,
nope, just always creeping around.
And then this is where we get the Edward's like, I haven't told you everything about myself. And this is where we get the Robert Pattinson wanting to include his hunting.
What, are you not a virgin?
Yeah.
That's my Kristen Stewart impression.
It's pretty good, actually.
Kind of like Fran Drescher a little bit. What, are you not a virgin?
Fran Drescher as Bella in all these movies.
That would be a good movie. I'd watch that.
Casting mishap here.
Yeah, that's how she became a vampire.
So then, Edward goes on talking about how he hasn't told her about everything, and that back in his old days, is when he first became a vamp, he was he wanted to try human blood, right? And this is where he cuts to this flashback where it starts out in like a color flashback, and they're 1920s, and it makes it look like he's stalking a woman. It's in a theater where they're playing Bride of Frankenstein there or whatever, and it makes it look like he's going to stalk her and kill her, and you're all like, oh no, he's been killing women. He's not. What ends up happening is he actually kills the human men that are hunting women,
right? Exactly.
Who are molesters and murderers, whatever. And then all of a sudden, it turns into it goes from being in color to then being a black and white film noir.
Yeah,
it's a flashback, so that's fine. But it was just like,
pick one. Just pick one.
Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Like, this meant nothing, because as soon as that's over, she's like, whatever. I don't care. They're all bad people. Like, what?
Yeah. Remember, listener, you're not privy to this, but right before we started recording today, Russ and I were having a discussion about how do we trim down the content length here. And then before you know it, we've spent 5 minutes talking about the transition of color to black and white.
Yeah, I gotta call it out. It's just
you can't cut that. You can't cut that. The fans won't have it. No, this is good. We're doing good.
So then they have a quick chat about justifying the murdering of people who are, bad people and, killing people. And then she does some quick moral math and is like, well, you would have killed way less people than what they would have done. So
sure.
That moral math adds up, right?
Yeah. And his reply is kind of just like, well, that may be, but I don't know. Wait, what? That's what I told myself too, but I'm not so sure.
And then that's it.
Yeah. Well, he's like, they were a human being nonetheless. And can you kill a human being? And she's like, yeah, definitely. she's like, I know I can do this. She's not talking about killing human beings. She's talking about not killing people specifically.
Yes.
Let me tell you why, because you did.
Yeah.
Well, what kind of reasoning is this?
I guess oh my God. I'm about to give this movie too much credit.
Nope.
Kind of ties back to the end where we have the pro-life, pro-choice conversation where everyone wants to kill the baby, and she's like, no, I wouldn't.
Oh, yeah. Right. I forgot about that part.
So kind of all comes back together.
Well,
yeah, that's a stretch. Maybe I'm giving it
but Edward wants to kill it.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. And she's like, no, she wants to, right?
Well, she's saying, I know I can not kill people because you don't kill people. That's what she's saying.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
She's justifying it on him, who he's like down to kill people. Anyway, you're right. You're right. It probably does allude to that. kind of, or they tried to do that, but they did a bad job.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but
yeah. Maybe. And then Edward's like, well, got to go to the bachelor party, bro.
The bro's here.
What? and then she asks if there's strippers, and he says no, but there will be mountain lions and maybe bears.
Sounds like a good time. I don't know. I have not been to a bachelor party with either of those things, so
no, same. Any of those things. I haven't been to a party with strippers or mountain lions or bears.
Oh my, yeah.
Oh my. I don't know if I want any of those at a bachelor party. I like.
Wait, hold on. Of those three things, I've been to a bachelor party with bears. No, that's true. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, strippers, mountain lions, and bears. Definitely bears. Yeah,
definitely bears. Most realistic.
So then the bros go out and they just take off and they're like, broing out, and then they're that's it.
Well, I wanted to highlight again the bad script writing here of I'll meet you at the altar, and she goes, I'll be the one in white. Fuck. God damn it.
Doesn't he say something like that? Isn't he like, oh, that's believable? Or
yeah,
you make that really believable.
It's horrible. It's awful. It's bad writing. And then she crawls into bed fully clothed and turns out the lights. Why
doesn't she have a bachelorette party? What's Alice doing? Why is she having a bachelorette? Aren't they supposed to wear wigs and drink cocktails out of penis straws? Like, what's going on here?
Or put on pajamas before you crawl into bed. I hate it so much.
Only drunk people fall asleep and they're fully clothed. Come on.
Right? She seems sober. Yeah. Then we come to presumably a dream with Bella walking down the aisle towards Edward.
Because you can't plan to have everyone in a wedding wear white. So yeah, we're in a dream sequence here. So
right. Exactly. Everyone is wearing white.
I need everyone to wear white when you show up to my wedding. What? I don't even own a white shirt.
Yeah, it'll go well with blood. Trust me.
Yes, trust me. It'll make the red really pop.
It's like little red accents everywhere. Like there's flower petals, in the aisle. There's little red flowers here and there. There's some roses around the archway. It's it looks cool. I guess like the scene looks cool.
Yeah.
And then she turns, and all of a sudden, the priest at the altar with Edward turns into the Volturi.
The Volturi bros. I think this is what they call Jared. I think this is what they call a foreshadowed.
Is this a foreshadow?
A foreshadow.
This is a foreshadow?
I don't know, maybe.
I had no idea. And then everything turns into blood.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was kind of cool. The roses and everything, they were kind of gathering together, and then they kind of turn into blood. And I was like, that's pretty cool. And then all of a sudden, everyone was missing, and then all of a sudden, they just pan down and like they're on top of all the dead guests.
This 20-second dream sequence is maybe my favorite scene in the movie.
Second that. Yep, second that. And they're all stacked up dead, and then she's got blood in her hands and blood in her wedding dress, which is
what I want.
Which is a foreshadowed, So
and then we cut this part was weird to me, this transition, because then we cut into the waking world, and Alice is doing her makeup, Bella's makeup for the wedding, and yelling at her about not getting beauty sleep. Like,
yeah.
And she's like, it was just a bad dream. And you're like, wait, was Alice, were you having this dream was it last night? Like, what's the chain of events here that led these two scenes together?
I think it was just that she went to bed at home at Dad's house and then was back at the back at the wedding.
Right.
And Alice is like,
that's what logic would say.
Yeah.
But then why would Alice be like, you didn't get enough beauty sleep? And she's like, just a bad dream. I'm sorry. I didn't mean
That's
to
okay.
get
That's all right.
derail
That's okay. But then so there's a blonde girl who comes in who is, I don't think she was in the second one. I don't remember her at least. Rosalie?
I thought she was in the second one.
She probably
but not
was,
very much.
But yeah, okay. She played, so she comes in, she wants to do the hair. There's definitely some tension here. And I was like, wait, what was Rosalie's deal?
She was Jasper's sister wife. I don't know who's sisters and who's brothers and who's couples.
Hey, vampires and they're whatever they're into. I'm not going to judge, right?
None of them are actually related, or maybe some of them are. Thais told me. It's
a long bloodline, man. It's a long bloodline to keep track of. So.
Yeah, you're right. Thank you for acknowledging that. This is hard. This is really hard.
This is difficult. There's so many people who are useless, and it's hard to keep track of useless people in stories.
Thank you. All right.
I got you. But do we
I'm glad
know
you're
if
here.
Rosalie had any like what's her beef with Bella? I didn't pick that
They're
up.
just like not super close. I think they're just
Okay.
like she doesn't want. Oh wait, no. Oh, it's all coming back to me. Nicely
Yeah.
got me.
There we go. There we go.
I
I see light bulbs.
think I
Mhm.
think Rosalie is the one who's like really against Bella wanting to become a vampire because she's like,
That was in part two.
oh, was that? Oh,
Yeah,
that was then that was Rosalie. I
that
think
was
being
Rosalie.
like,
Yeah, she was.
I wouldn't have chosen this. Like, you shouldn't choose that. Yeah,
I think she was the one of the group when they held a Democratic vote.
yeah, yes.
in Eddie's house there, and she was the one who was like,
Okay,
I didn't know
that was in part 2. Thank
yeah.
God.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm not losing it. So yeah, that's why they have a beef. Part 3, I don't think they squashed the beef. I think they just
No, the beef is still here.
Yeah.
And then we get mom, dad giving Bella a little family heirloom there for.
Yeah, well, right before that, I love Dad walking up the stairs. And he's like, "Are those graduation caps?" Because it's like a mural, like the whole wall length of all graduation caps. And the mom's like, "Oh, how creative!" And he's like, "Or weird." And you're like, yeah. And then we'll never talk about that again either. Like,
I actually think the dad's got the best lines in this entire movie, especially his speech at the wedding.
Oh,
Good.
yes.
That's a solid speech.
Well, yeah. we'll get to it.
We'll get to
But
it.
yes. Yeah. And then and the dad also, speaking of great lines, as they're giving her the heirloom here, he's like, yeah, she's like, we needed to give you something blue. And he's like, and something old besides your mother. And you're like, ruthless.
Age joke.
Yeah, horrible.
And then they hand her off the thing.
You can pass this down to your daughter and your daughter's daughter and forever and ever.
Yeah, because your bloodline's going to last forever. You're going to be. Mm-hmm. They don't.
You definitely won't be immortal soon.
So the parents still don't know that there are vampires and wolves out there, right?
Well, no, the dad knows the werewolves exist.
Okay, but he doesn't know that.
They did that in part 2.
Yeah, but it wasn't like he didn't know that like people were turning into the wolves though.
No, remember Jacob turns in front of them.
Oh, does he
at the end? Yeah, at the end of New Moon, he's like, guys, I got something important to tell you.
Ta-da!
And then he does the thing, and Bella's dad's like, "What?"
Oh, I don't remember that in part 2. Okay,
yeah.
But he doesn't know the Cullens or Eddie here is a vampire,
right?
Okay.
Because then they'd have to kill him,
right?
And that was the whole thing. Because the Cullens were like, "You told him about us," and he's like, "No, I didn't tell him about you. I told him about me." And that's why he knows that something funny is afoot, but he doesn't know exactly what's afoot.
Something's afoot at the Circle K.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it's all bad. All right, so now we're getting into the wedding, right?
Yep. Everybody's standing around. Bella's high school friends are there.
This is like the first 15 minutes of the movie, by the way, is just reintroducing us to all the characters that we all know or have been around since the first 3 movies. No one's died. No one goes anywhere. No one actually dies, right? And setting up a wedding. And setting up a wedding. That's it.
And the high school friends are like ogling the sexy vampires. They're like, oh, wow, who are all these sexy vampires?
Yeah. And Anna Kendrick calling it as she sees it, right?
Yeah. She's not pregnant. Like, and it says the other woman, and she says, well, then who gets married at 18 besides people who are pregnant?
Not wrong.
Great question.
Great point there, friendo.
Is that a foreshadow? Is that
a foreshadow? And then we get shots of the trailer of Dad and Bella walking down the aisle. Don't let me fall. He said never. Pretty nervous, nerve-wracking walk here. She's looking like she's going to make a run for it. And then she comes around a corner. Yeah. She sees Edward, and all of a sudden all is good. And then it's...
Well, is it? Because she looks awful up until she sees Edward. And then she looks then she looks like she can barely tolerate the situation. Like she's like, oh, like maybe she's nervous because, I mean, this is, welcome to the afterlife, almost the everlasting life.
This is forever what you're about to do. So then we get marriage time, and they're getting right into it. There's no guy's getting right into it. He's like, welcome. And then rich, poor, yada, yada, yada. Yeah. They kiss.
Well, yeah, they cut right to the chase, but then it takes forever to do the vows. It's like another 2 minutes.
Then everyone disappears because I think it's just to show that they're having this moment to themselves, but everyone is still there. But they feel like they're the only 2 people on the planet. That's how I felt when that part happened.
Yeah, and that's why it's awful, because they're not.
Yeah,
everyone's still there watching them make out for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's like, Jesus, wrap it up here.
I think they eventually get sick of it, and that's when they start clapping. Then we cut to the reception where we get the high school friends being jerks immediately, like, oh, I just thought the cake would be bigger. And then the rest of the vampires come over and they're like, like Alice, and she's like, "Oh, like, what are you guys having a good time?" Like, "Oh yeah, everything's so cool. Like the cake is so big."
All right, so yeah, and then
And
the
that's when we
wolf.
get the dad being like, "Well, I plan on getting drunk, as all dads do."
So then we get the wolves. Some of the wolves show up, right? Billy in a wheelchair, and then some of the boys there. No Jake though. We get no Jake.
Right. Well, he ran away. Right.
And then we get cousins from Alaska. I think they were from right,
Mhm.
showing up. Edward's cousins, who
Which Denali,
were the Denali's.
right? That's the volcano there, the mountain in Alaska, whatever. Not volcano.
Oh, good call.
Right? Nailed it. Sometimes I know stuff and things.
And this is Maggie Grace is in here, I guess. I didn't. She's the only one with speaking lines, but the cousins show up. They're not big fans of wolves, making it very clear that they don't like some of the family members and guests that are invited.
Yeah,
kind of a classic. And I mean, Edward points it out: family drama
/ S.
Yeah,
What's a wedding without some family drama?
Yeah, leave it to those rando cousins, right?
You killed that guy, remember?
Yeah, it's all relative to this, whatever.
God. Yeah, we all got this guy killed.
And then we go to speeches. We get the toast from the best lady and the best man, and then family speeches. Everyone's speaking. It's all awkward.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Like, hope you got enough sleep these last 18 years because you won't be getting any more for a while, which is ruthless. And her dad was not happy about.
Not having it.
And I can't tell if that's is it just a sex thing, or is he also talking about the vampire thing, or both? Or is that why it's funny, or why it's supposed to be funny?
I think it's like an A foreshadowed. It's an A foreshadowed.
It's like an A foreshadow. Yeah, you're right.
Anyways,
and then that's when we get Anna Kendrick talking about how Bella's super cool, even though she's not the captain of the volleyball team or president of student council. But whatever, who's counting?
Is Anna Kendrick?
Yes. Yes.
How is she the captain of the volleyball team? She's like 5'1".
I know.
Or is that the joke?
I think it's about spirit. No, there's no joke there. The joke there is like, why isn't Edward with her instead of Bella, like a clown?
Oh.
Because Bella is neither of those things.
Oh, also. She's just brooding, kind of like,
right. Why isn't Edward with me? The day of my best friend's wedding.
Yeah. Let me just call it out. Captain of the volleyball team. Must be a short net.
Ruthless. Hey, you got a short now, man?
You got a short net?
Hey, sit down, short net.
And then we get Dad doing his speech about how Edward's going to be a good husband.
I didn't like it.
He's going to hunt him down. Basically, he's going to hunt him and kill him because he's got a gun.
He'll be good. I know this because I know things, because I'm a cop.
And he's like, I know how to hunt people. I know how to hunt people. And I got a gun. I got a gun.
Oh, okay. And then we get the mom is singing a song, "Go to Sleep, My Love," which I don't get.
I don't think.
And then Edward also does a speech. I don't know. Like, why is any of this happening?
Yeah. I mean, no, this happens at weddings. It's just because it's all cut together like this. But this happens at weddings. You get the best man speeches and you get the parents saying something.
I feel like we never used to have that many speeches back in the old wedding days. I feel like all the new weddings that I've been to in the last couple of years, all of a sudden it's like speeches out the ass, you got
no, it's true. Well, I think in the past you just got the best and the bride, the main lady there.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, whatever. Their speeches.
Maid of honor, matron
Thank
of
you,
honor.
Maid of honor, yeah. They get their speeches, right? And then you might get a family member on either side. Maybe, but even then
but hopefully not.
Yeah, because that is just recipe for
it's dinner time, right?
Yeah, and everyone's like, "Well, I don't know what you voted," and everyone's like, "Oh boy, here we go." Give Uncle so and so a microphone. Now he's gonna,
Yeah, I was at a wedding recently. I think I told you where the father of the bride spoke for 35 minutes.
Holy shit!
It's too much.
Yeah, you gotta get you get pulled at that. You get 5 minutes max. 5 minutes.
They tried. He just wouldn't quit.
Oh, that's bad. That's brutal.
Members of your own family shouting like, "Hey, buddy, my flight leaves on Wednesday."
Really?
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep. And kept going.
How did he wrap it up? We're just like, and I love you all.
No, he wrapped it up by doing 2 more speeches. He wrapped it up about 15 minutes in, and then he was like, and now, of course I have to speak about my daughter.
No,
and I was like, wait, the first part was just about your future son-in-law, like, or your now son-in-law, like, what the fuck? And then
speech.
and then he wrapped it up with, he's like, in together they really complement each other by blah 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 for like another 10 minutes.
Smokes!
It was a nightmare. Did
was he reading from something, or was he just kind of improvising?
No, he was just off the cuff, like over a half an hour.
Yeah, that's the problem. You can't improvise these things. You got to have something written, get you through.
Incredible. Yeah. If you like, apologies. I don't know if this person listens to the podcast who's getting married, but if you know who you are, if you are. Horrible, but great wedding overall. But father of the bride speech.
Come on.
Too long.
Yeah. 5 minutes. Everyone gets 5 minutes max. Yeah. 5 minutes.
Yeah. Or like nobody gets speeches.
Yeah. Or no speech at all.
No speeches at all.
Yeah.
It's just good. Yeah.
All right. We've put our foot down.
My wedding rant.
Yeah. ITMT, we've put our foot down about wedding speeches. I think we're done. So just remember that. Oh my God. People are crazy. All right. So we get through all the speeches here. And then Edward's like, I've got a gift for you. It's in the woods. And, or is there more do you have?
No, I just had, that's when they kind of wrap up the speeches. And that's when Edward comes over and when they're dancing, everyone's dancing now.
Yeah. It's party time.
Yeah. Another one of your gifts just arrived. Like, stop sniffing stuff, you sick fuck.
God, you can I can smell them from here. And he walks out to the woods, and then it's Jacob. Edward.
And Jacob has some beauty lines in this movie. And by beauty lines, I mean, he says stuff like, he's so kind is my middle name.
He's I'm sorry, Taylor, but you're not a good actor. I know I haven't seen you in anything else, so I know that's not good, because this is like a soap opera, which is usually pretty cheesy, but hopefully you've gotten better. That's all. Like, I'm sure you have. Like, you work through it, but it is not good. It's not good. It's pretty brutal. So, but at least he has a shirt on here. Yeah. I'm just confused. So I'm confused though, because at the beginning of the movie, he gets the invitation, he has a hissy fit, and he just takes off.
Right. Exactly.
So what, did Edward go zipping out there and find him, sniff him out, and then was like, hey man, show up to the wedding? Or like, how did they, and then he's here, and then it's like, so. Anyways, he's been in northern Canada, he thinks. Yeah,
and apparently Bella was about to put his face on a milk carton.
So yeah, then they're just dancing in the woods. They have a moment.
This seems so weird, because he's like...
It is very weird. Like, I'm just trying to work through it.
You afraid I'm going to trash the party? Like, should I be?
Yeah, like
I don't know. Like, he's acting like very oppositely in this one of like, half the time he's like, well, of course I wouldn't miss your wedding. I'm so happy to be here. Well, like, what do you think? I'm going to fuck up your whole wedding? I might.
Yeah. He's just playing like the whole movie, like the rest of the movie though. He's kind of got this edgy, he's just like a dick.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it. He's just a dick. He's like a wolf. It's got like, I don't know, his hair in a knot.
Yeah. You're right. No, he's not. That is exactly what it is. He's just being an asshole the rest of the movie. And
they're trying to do that on purpose, I think, because later on he's got this turn that's like that's his quote unquote character arc.
Yeah. And he's
going from being a dick to not being a dick. Oh, that's great. Jesus Christ. So stupid.
Yeah. He's like trying to like dictate her emotions. He's like, you're not supposed to be crying at a wedding. And she's like, everyone cries at weddings. Like, what are you talking about? And then he's like, this is how I'm going to remember you. And he's like, you got your warmth or whatever, and your 2 left feet, like you're shitty at dancing, in case you forgot.
Yeah, he's a dick. He shits on her, and then he's like almost like towards the end of this whole thing, he's like almost abusive, like
Yes.
Like he's been in past movies because he's got anger issues because he's a fucking wolf,
right?
And then they have like this really kind of weird, dodgy conversation about her staying as a human and going on a honeymoon. Like they're trying to get around, like, hey, you know what happens on a honeymoon? You can't do that. And it's like so dodgy around like just saying
like you're going to have a real honeymoon anyway. And she's like, well, as real as anyone else's. And he's like, that's some kind of sick joke. We're like, wait, maybe Bella doesn't know that she can't have sex with vampires.
Yeah. And then shit just escalates. And then Jacob just gets like pissed, right?
Yeah. Because he thinks Edward is going to sex murder her.
Yes. Sex murderer. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. And Edward just comes obviously out of nowhere. Poof, I'm here.
Right.
Excuse me. What is happening here? And and Jake just loses his shit. He's just like, you're gonna kill her. You're gonna kill her. Mm-hmm. And
then Sam shows up, the werewolf.
And then other wolf bros show up. I'm like, what? Wow, this just went from a 0 to a 10 in like no time.
Way too much. And he's like, she's not our concern anymore. And you're like, wait, why not? Like, What's happening? Why is any of this anyone's concern? Who cares?
Yeah. And all the bros are holding him back, and then it's just drama. Ugh, my God. First it's the cousins, then it's the dogs,
Yep. And Edward's like, let's go back to the wedding. Which they go back to the wedding and then leave the wedding immediately.
Yeah, they go back and then they're like, all right, see you, Dad. See you, Mom. Gotta go.
Yep. Which apparently it's a surprise honeymoon, which is weird.
Yeah, I mean, those happen, right? I mean,
Mom's like, where are you going? And she's like, I have no idea.
It's kind of hard to pull off a surprise honeymoon.
Yeah. It's like a significant vacation.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. And then, she's like, well, wear a hat and sunscreen and take care of yourself. Like she was a character in the last 3 movies, which she wasn't really.
Yeah. And then that's it. We don't see her. She's literally saying goodbye because then she's no longer a part of this movie and probably not even part 2.
No, she's like there kind of in behind the scenes, I think at some point, like when Dad's on the phone, I think at some point.
Oh, okay. Right. Yeah.
But yes, it's stupid. It's done. And then like, this is 27 minutes into the movie. I marked it like right here.
Yes. Yep.
Unbelievably,
we are a quarter of the way through this movie,
mm-hmm.
And it's just been a wedding.
Yep. And she's like, "Well, bye, Dad." Like, she's like, "It's gonna be weird not having you under my roof." And she's like, "Yeah, real weird. I love you forever." And he's like, "Yep, samesies." And then he's also pissed that she doesn't know where she's going. He's like, "I can't believe like you're getting on your plane to wherever, but sure, I guess."
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Okay," and then everybody claps. and then I think this is the last time we see the high school friends like in the movie franchise, right? Like
probably, I don't know. I didn't see part 2, but I assume yes.
Yeah, they like wave, and they're like, "Okay, bye."
It's a good like, all right, goodbye for all these characters who are now no longer important to the rest of, this mythical fantasy world, right?
You're right. If Star Wars had done the same thing, I would have been like, fine. So if I put that lens on it, yes.
Right. It's just like, okay, departing. We've all said our goodbyes. We're all healthy. We're all fine. Okay, cool. Yep. Don't need to worry about them. Let's move on to new things, right?
Yep. Bella drives off into the night
into Edward. A Volvo, a nice new Volvo.
Yep, always.
Gotta get that new Volvo up there. He's upgraded. And then we get some wolf cries.
Yeah,
right? Howls.
And Bella stares off into the night.
And I think that's a perfect spot for us to go on our part 2 honeymoon.
That's a weird way to say that.
Yeah, it's not. In my head, that sounded better than it came out, but
run with it.
We're gonna toss rice on ourselves and leave right now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, it's gonna be it. For part 1. So thanks for listening. We'll be back on Thursday with part 2. In the meantime, you can follow us on Instagram at It's This Meets That, or TeamTPod on Twitter, and you can subscribe to us. And you should subscribe to us wherever you listen.
And while you're there subscribing, you can also leave us a little review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Recently does let you do reviews now.
Yeah, that's new. 2021.
Yeah, end of 2021 thing. Yeah, which was
big feature release.
Year, Russ. Yeah, which was last year, in case you forgot.
Right. That's when they released it, I was saying.
Yeah. We're in 2022 now.
Right. That's right.
As I live and breathe. But yeah, it's real easy. You can just go give us stars even. It's like you can do the lazy thing and not even leave a review really. You can just give us a rating. That helps too. Yeah. I saw somebody else that already rated us 5 stars. I don't know who that is, but thank you. Thank you to whoever did that. So rate, subscribe, tell us we're your best friends. We know we got a big bump in European listeners over the last year. We love you. We love all of you. Huge. We're sorry for all the accents we do, but
sorry, but we're working on them. We're getting better.
Yeah. Give us some tips, which you can do by sending us an email, like maybe a little pronunciation tip. Share us a video.
Sure.
How to do better accents. It's thismeetsthat@gmail.com in case you forgot. Or you can just go to the website where we also have the email address and all of our other information and all of the places that you can listen and subscribe and review and all that good stuff. So many things at the website.
It's just one click away.
A winter wonderland if you're in the Northern Hemisphere. If you're in the Southern Hemisphere, a summertime wonderland.
Yeah.
As they say.
It's just a wonderland.
So thank you.